Hey everybody, it's Mary with Amelia James by Mary, and I wanted to make a quick video to tell you guys why I decided to break up with LuLaRoe and start my new journey with Amelia James. So if you're watching this video, hopefully you're just wanting to get some more information either about Amelia James, maybe LuLaRoe, or maybe you're one of my VIPs and you just want a little bit more information about why I decided to make the switch. Either way, I'm excited you're here and thank you so much for watching. So let me give you a little bit of background about myself and why I decided to go into LuLaRoe. So I am a wife, I am a mother of two little girls, 5 and 8, and I live in Boerne, Texas. Up until very recently, I was a full-time learning and development manager, and I got into LuLaRoe back in the spring of this year. I actually went into the queue in February of this year, and I onboarded at the end of April. And I got into it because I wanted just maybe a little bit of a little extra income to be able to do more things with my family. I also wanted to do a project with my girls. I felt like it was a good opportunity for me to show them responsibility, show them how business works, and they both love design. So it just made a lot of sense. So for those purposes, I feel I was successful in achieving that. I got into it on a part-time basis, and for doing it part-time, it was a lot of work, a lot of fun, but I definitely feel like I accomplished those things. So fast forward a few months, and in July I decided that I needed to make a change with my full-time position. I loved what I did. I was very passionate about it, and I had been with this company over 12 years. But at the same time, I realized that I was not doing a great job of balancing my time with my family. So I was traveling quite a bit. I was actually putting in a lot of hours, and I just realized that I needed to make sure I was putting my family first. And so it was a really tough decision for me, but I took a leap of faith and I decided to leave and explore new opportunities. So when I did that, I decided I needed to kind of reassess everything I was doing, all the side projects, all the side businesses, and figure out how I could do the best at what I was doing. And so I went through looking at the pros and cons of LuLaRoe, and I have to tell you, I had more cons for what I saw the future hold for me with LuLaRoe, and so I started looking into other opportunities. So let me tell you a little bit about what those cons were, and hopefully this will help you get some insight in what you're looking for. So with LuLaRoe, I didn't feel like I had complete control over my success. So you may say, what do you mean by that? Well, I didn't feel like I had control over what I brought into my shop, into my store. So with LuLaRoe, you have the option to choose styles and sizes, but you cannot pick your prints. And initially, that was actually okay for me because it was all very new. I didn't know who my customer was yet. I hadn't really figured out my customer base. So it was good to have that variety to try to figure out what people liked and what they didn't like. But after a few months of it, I started to realize what my group wanted, what my customers wanted, and it was a little bit of a struggle to have to just put all of my faith in what came in these boxes, and I didn't have the choice to pick. So it was definitely something that I found myself in a cycle where I was ordering the 30-piece minimum, which can a lot of times be $500 to $600, to only get a handful of things that I felt my people wanted. So I still continued with it, and I started trying to get my inventory in front of other groups of people. And so I looked into a lot of different events, a lot of different vendor events, and I will tell you, because there were so many LuLaRoe consultants in general, I think at that time there was like over 90,000. It was really hard to get a vendor event. Most vendor events will only allow for one consultant per brand. So by the time I would find one, a lot of times it was taken. So that was also a kind of a roadblock for me in being able to move some of this inventory that I didn't feel my customers that I currently had would want. So with Amelia James, I have the option to choose what I put in my shop, and I can actually see sizes, prints, solids, whatever it might be, and I can make that decision based off of what I think my people are gonna want. So that was huge, huge for me. Another reason that I wanted to switch was also just in general, I wanted to be able to grow my team. And LuLaRoe does have a program in place to allow you to bring on reps and grow a team and help them be successful. For me, that was really important because my background is in learning and development. I want to help people be successful, and I didn't feel like there was as much opportunity there for a few reasons with LuLaRoe. One was the initial onboarding package. So to get in with LuLaRoe, the cheapest package you can do is $5,000, and then you have to add your supplies on top of that. So it's a pretty hefty investment, not one that people can just fork over a lot of times. So you have to be really, really committed, which is good. Of course, you want somebody who's going to be committed, especially if they're going to come in on your team. But I just felt like it was harder to find those people that could just even be able to invest because it's pretty pricey. I also felt like there was already a lot of consultants. So a lot of people had already heard about it, had already been given the opportunity, didn't want to do it for whatever reason, or was already in the queue. So for me, I didn't feel like there was as much opportunity. When I looked at Amelia James, at that time they only had 500 consultants, a little over 500 consultants. So there was a huge opportunity there, especially in my region, to bring on a team. And the initial onboarding package, they had different packages, but they start as low as 1,000. So there was a lot more opportunity for people to be able to come on board, start selling immediately, and get to be on a team and learn all about Amelia James and be able to get going quickly. So that was a huge piece of my switch as well. Another piece was just the culture of the company with LuLaRoe. So when I got into it, I liked what I saw and read, but after being with the company for a few months, I started to realize I didn't always feel like the decisions that were being made were in line with what was best for the consultants and for their employees. So I did have the opportunity to go to a convention this year with LuLaRoe at the end of July. I actually signed up to go while I was in the queue, and I had hoped to come out of that feeling really pumped because I had just given notice, and I wanted to just feel like I had all this information. I was going to go and just my business was going to explode because they gave me so many great tips that I could take and use. And I have to tell you, I did not get that when I was there. I did not feel like the training that was provided was that strong. Personally, I am a little bit of a critic, but I just didn't feel like I got a lot of great nuggets to go out there and utilize. I did get to meet my Lula sisters and my Lula sponsor, my mom, my Lula mom, and that part of it was awesome. But some of the things that were discussed and rolled out there, I just didn't feel were in line long term with a company that really puts their employees first. And for me, that was really, really important. And some of the decisions that have been made since that time, again, for me, aren't aligned. And that's important. That was really important to me. So I personally just didn't feel like that culture was a right fit for me. I also just, in general, it was a right financial decision for me, if I'm being completely honest and keeping it real. I went into a little bit of debt to be able to bring in some of this stuff and the initial inventory with LuLaRoe. So for me, and having the fact that I just decided to leave my full-time job, I needed to look at ways that I could get creative also with getting me to a place that we were in an okay spot to move forward. And so for me, selling off my LuLaRoe to other consultants or putting it out there at a discounted rate was going to help me kind of get to ground zero and be able to start afresh with a new company and move forward. So that was really kind of the icing on the cake for me to make the decision that it was a smart move for me personally. And then finally, I love the Amelia James clothes. You know, I definitely love the detail that's put into it. I absolutely love all the styles I have seen. I feel like it's a right fit for me as well as my customers. I feel like there's a lot of thought that has put into those, and I just didn't necessarily always feel that way with what I was getting in my boxes with LuLaRoe. So, those are kind of basically my top, I don't know how many was that, 4 or 5, as to why I decided I wanted to move on to a new journey with Amelia James. So I hope I answered a lot of the questions you guys might have. If you have additional questions, please feel free to drop it in the comments below, and I will reach out to you and help you with those answers. If you're interested in becoming an Amelia James rep, please contact me, and I'm working on putting an interest group on Facebook together for that. But I would love to talk to you in more detail and give you more information. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.